Think about famous explorers from history. Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan, Marco Polo.
Oh, he discovered that game we play in the pool, right?
Not exactly, no.
Oh, I thought for sure.
Yeah. Well, whatever their intentions may have been, you have to admire their willingness to explore the vast unknown. And that's kind of what we do here. Exploring the little mysteries of everyday living. Products, pets, pastimes, long-held customs, and the curious turn of a phrase. And if you've always wondered about that kind of stuff too, you're in the right place. Unlike Columbus, who missed his mark by about 10,000 miles or so.
You mean this isn't India?
But the good news is, he did make landfall just in time to celebrate Columbus Day. In the meantime, we're ready to set a course and answer some of the questions you've always wondered about. Welcome to the podcast.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. On an earlier episode, we looked at the origin of the knock-knock joke. It turns out it was a relatively recent development, and I promise no more knock-knock jokes, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. But it begs the question, have you always wondered the origin of the plain old joke?
Now you take my wife, please.
Joke-telling has most likely been with us since the beginning, and I'm sure those early cave dwellers had some real knee-slappers, comparing their mother-in-law to a woolly mammoth or something like that. But nothing was ever written down, so that era of history is lost to us, unless you want to include the Flintstones. So we can only go by jokes that were recorded and written down somewhere. So for this, we're putting the Wayback Machine into overdrive, going back nearly 4,000 years. Archaeologists in the Middle East uncovered clay tablets from that time that contain the earliest written evidence of jokes. They were written in Sumerian, arguably the oldest known language in the world, spoken in ancient Mesopotamia. So it only makes sense that the oldest recorded language also has the oldest recorded jokes. So stop me if you heard this one. It's been around about 4,000 years. Actually, it's more like a humorous observation. It has to do with a bodily function, so if you have impressionable young kids with you, you might want to turn down the volume for 10 seconds or so. Okay, the first known joke. Here we go.
Something which has never occurred since time immemorial. A young woman did not fart in her husband's lap.
All right, there you have it. Now, maybe in context it worked better. I don't know. Okay, let's try another one. Those ancient tablets also gave us the first "a guy walked into a bar" joke. This dates back about 3,700 years, so it's got classic written all over it. And actually, it's a dog who walks into a bar joke. So it's an interesting setup. Let's see where it goes.
A dog entered a bar and said, "I can't see a thing. I'll open this one."
Okay, not really sure how that one would go over at the next open mic night. Tell you what, let's rewind. Maybe try it with a laugh track.
"I can't see a thing. I'll open this one."
Nope. Maybe it loses something in the translation. Or maybe we're just too far removed for it to make any sense at all. But we're on a mission to find ancient laughs somewhere, so what do you say we toss aside these old clay tablets and... Oh, I'm sorry. Little glue, we can fix that right up. So let's move ahead about 20 centuries or so and find some better written evidence of jokes. The ancient Greeks published the first joke book in about 300 AD. Those Greeks always up for a good time. I mean, you can't help but love a toga party, right? The book contains 265 jokes. Got some high hopes for this. Let's see what we got.
A man visits his doctor and says, "Doctor, can you please help me? Every morning I feel dizzy for half an hour after waking up." "Well," said the doctor, "have you tried waking up half an hour later?"
All right. It only took a couple thousand years, but I think we finally found a genuine joke. So now there's not much more left to say other than thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. I'll be here all week. Be sure to tip your waitress.
The Always Wondered podcast.
If you were to create a Mount Rushmore of junk food, you would definitely have to save a spot for the Twinkie.
That's a big Twinkie.
The way those creamy-filled golden sponge cakes fit so perfectly in the palm of our hands, it's as if it were divine intervention. But have you always wondered, what was the origin of the Twinkie? Well, let's unwrap that question and sink our teeth into the soft, spongy center of one of life's sweetest mysteries. The year 1930. The place, the village of River Forest outside of Chicago. the Continental Baking Company, which sold products under the Hostess name, produced various sweet treats, including baked strawberry shortcakes. Enter company manager James Dewar, baker, innovator, and future snack legend. Dewar noticed something.
So we had these big machines. They made the sponge cake for our strawberry shortcake. But after strawberry season, they just sat idle, doing nothing. Kinda like my brother-in-law, Frank.
Well, we're not sure about the brother-in-law thing. But keep in mind, this was during the Great Depression, and the company needed to be productive in order to survive. So Dewar hit upon a great idea.
Hey, how about we stuff them with something else?
That something else was banana cream. Now all he needed was a catchy name. Dewar had recently seen a billboard for Twinkle Toe shoes. So he dropped the toes, added a couple of hundred calories, and in a moment of pure snackspiration, the Twinkie was born. But then the Twinkie hit a roadblock, a little something called World War II. Bananas were nearly impossible to come by in this country. So in desperation, Hostess swapped the banana filling for a vanilla cream filling. And spoiler alert, it stuck. The new filling proved to be even more popular, and the Twinkie really took off after the war, especially with the advent of TV advertising and product placement on kid shows like Howdy Doody.
Hey kids, what time is it?
And before long, Twinkies became a school lunchbox staple.
Yahoo! It's Twinkie the Kid!
But in the 2000s, it all came to a screeching halt. It was the Great Twinkie Extinction Event of 2013. Hostess declared bankruptcy. Twinkies disappeared off store shelves. And for a brief moment, America panicked.
Get to aisle 7. Buy all the Twinkies.
But eventually, a private equity firm took over Hostess, and junk food junkies rejoiced as Twinkies returned, and they've been around ever since.
You get a big delight in every bite of Hostess Twinkies.
Today, the Twinkie is the snack of school lunches, nostalgic sitcoms, and that one guy in your office that has one in his drawer for emergencies.
Don't judge me, please.
So the next time you bite into a Twinkie, you're not just eating a snack. You're biting into a squishy, sugary, cream-filled slice of American history.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
And now, a look at the weather. Clouds moving in later on. It'll be raining cats and dogs. Hey, we've heard that phrase almost all of our lives. But have you always wondered, what do domesticated animals have to do with stormy weather? Well, let's see if we can't unravel this furry, soggy mystery. Buckle up, bring an umbrella, and possibly a chew toy. There are a few theories to consider. One deals with Norse gods. Of course, the one Norse god everyone knows is Thor.
Oh, I love Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, well, he's the god of thunder. But before he was part of the Marvel Universe, he was starring in Norse mythology, where he hung out with other weather-related gods. And those gods were often depicted riding through the skies with cats and dogs. So it would be really easy to imagine one of them proclaiming,
Release the sky pets.
Now, a second theory dates to medieval England, where thatch roofs were all the rage. Those roofs were like little motels for stray cats and dogs. Warm, dry, and cozy. But when it rained hard, the animals got flushed out like furry floodwater. People would see cats and dogs tumbling off rooftops and cry out,
Blimey, it's raining them now.
A creepy related theory has us looking to 17th century London. Trash was simply tossed in the streets, including the carcasses of dead animals. So when the rains came, guess what would get washed down the gutters? Which might lead to the most depressing weather report ever.
It's raining cats and dogs, and I just stepped in a poodle. Literally.
But here's a very plausible theory. Perhaps we simply misunderstood the phrase for hundreds of years. Greek culture had an expression.
Katadoxa.
Roughly translated, that means beyond belief. So conceivably, if it was raining unbelievably hard, someone could say it's raining.
Katadoxa.
A lot of Greek terms make their way into our language, so it's very easy that could have morphed into cats and dogs.
Aha!
But like so many of these phrases, it's always open to interpretation. So if you have any thoughts on rain, cats, and dogs too, we'd love to hear them.
The Always Wondered podcast.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We hope you learned something and had some fun. And as always, we leave you with one to ponder. Have you always wondered, why is phonetics not spelled phonetically? Until next time, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for listening.
the Always Wondered podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you pod. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.